All right, what is up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Kristen today, and your Philadelphia Flyers are 3-0. That was a huge win for this team. I really don't care what anyone says. That is a huge win for this Flyers team. Just incredible. I mean, there really is no other way to describe it. I mean, it wasn't the best game by any means, and it wasn't, you know, I guess you could say their most dominant game, right? Because they go down 2-0 again, and that's the second game in a row now. They had no wins last year, going down 2-0, behind 2 goals, whether it was 2-0, 3-1, 4-2, anything like that. The Flyers didn't come back, and they already have 2 wins in the first 3 games like that. 3 power play goals in 3 games. I mean, just so many things are going right for this team right now, and where it felt like last year everything was going wrong. And that's a huge win for this team's confidence. I tweeted about it earlier. Like, just in general, I mean, you already have a tough month of October. You have Florida tomorrow. You have Florida again later in the month. You have Carolina. You had Tampa Bay. New Jersey and Vancouver really aren't easy opponents either. So it kind of going off of that. I mean, again, this is a really good win for this team. Another comeback win. Noah Cates ends up getting the game-winning goal. Lines in this game were a little bit different. Oilix Hill comes in for McEwen. That was really the only change. Lawton with Hayes and Konechny, Farabee, Cates, Allison, Van Riemsdyk, Frost, Leksinski. Delorier with Jackson, Cates, and McEwen. Provorov and D'Angelo, Sanheim and Braun, Sealer and Zamula. Carter Hart was in net for this one. First period, the Flyers had one shot. It was an Allison quick shot on a 2-on-1. Outside of that, not much going on for the Flyers really in this whole period. Point ended up bumping into Hart off the rush. He looked a little shaken up, but he did stay in. I thought the Flyers were kind of standing around. They just looked so afraid to make a play, and that carried into the second period. But as for the first, it kind of continued, and as the game went on, it really felt like that the Flyers just couldn't really generate much because they were so afraid to actually do anything. And when that happens, it's like, it was like the Flyers would get the puck, and then as soon as they would hit the red line, they dumped it, but nobody would go get it, and that was kind of the problem. They lost a lot of the battles behind the net. Tampa had easy exits. Flyers get a power play here. It was a hooking call. Just a few looks, not a lot of passing, lots of passing, but nothing really too crazy, is what I meant to say. Really not much happening in this period for either team. I thought the Flyers had played in better in the second half, last 10 minutes, but not as much offensively, at least for, high quality chances. They had a couple looks, but nothing crazy. End of one, okay, better in the second half. Second period, 2 quick goals by Tampa on the power play. Konechny with a penalty in the offensive zone, and then McEwen ends up taking 2 goals from Stamkos, pretty much in the same spot. There were 2 fights at one point. Delorier in the first, and then Braun in the second. He fought with Perry. Delorier fights with Maroon, and those seem like 2 things that were, I guess you could say, that the plays that the Flyers were trying to get to at least kind of bring them back into the game, right? And as this was happening, like, I don't know if this is going to happen with the fight. It didn't happen the first time. Braun does it. Okay, they played a little bit better after that, and then they get the goal. Everything opened from the goal. Everything opened from the Scott Lawton goal. Flyers get one. Zamula, quick shot on the rebound. The rebound just came right out, and Lawton was able to pot it 2-1. Hayes had a chance in tight off of a Konechny pass, almost scored there. It was just a beautiful play. Tampa had another breakdown as well. They did not play great in this game. I thought the Flyers did a much better job since that goal. They had better tempo. They were driving through the middle of the ice. They were just able to make more plays, and it felt like they weren't as afraid. They took some chances. They took some risks. I thought the defense did a good job pinching, kind of keeping those plays alive. And just in general, I thought the Flyers did a really good job in this second period, at least in the later stages of it, to get some better shifts. They didn't look as scared to make the play, and that was the biggest thing. They got confidence from that. And sometimes, it can be a fight. It can be a hit. It can be a certain shift. But majority of the time, most importantly, it's a goal. And that's what it was here. End of the period, it was 2-1. I thought Hart had a couple good saves late for the Flyers too. He was really good. Again, once Hart gives up 2 goals, he plays much better. I don't know what it is. It's like a common theme for at least these last 2 games, and really for most of the season so far. But again, third period starts, Flyers get a power play. Noah Cates draws a penalty in the corner. He had a lot of good plays tonight. Noah Cates, just simple plays. For him at center, I don't think he's been as noticeable like offensively, because obviously he has more defensive ability. But even still, he's still able to create plays for himself because of that high IQ. And the Flyers would score here on this power play as well that Cates was able to draw, so that gets him the equalizer. Hayes scores. Looked like it was Hayes, but actually was credited to JVR. It was a shot that I have it in my notes still as Hayes. So he shoots it, and JVR gets a little piece of it, and it deflects right through Vasilevsky's legs. And the Flyers get one of it. And I think what I really liked the most about this was the way that Hayes just settled the whole power play down. They looked a little like passes were maybe off like an inch, or the couple power plays they had before that, it was more of, just passes were maybe a little over, or D'Angelo was kind of on the left side where Farabee should be, and he was at the point, like they weren't really in sync. Hayes just settled it down, slowed it down, shot the puck, deflected in 2-2. I thought the Flyers really had a great third period. They owned after that goal. They had another good shift after that. Farabee had a chance in tight. Konechny had a really nice setup for that one. I thought the Flyers really were all over to start the third. Then Tampa gets a power play. Bad penalty here by McEwen. It was kind of unfortunate because it was his second one. The other one was the second Stamkos goal. And the Flyers' penalty kill up until that point did not do good on both of these goals. Obviously, Tampa's a really good power play and have some really good players. But, again, just a lot of plays. They had, I don't want to say easy entries, but I guess a little bit easier than what we were used to in the first two games because the Flyers were really aggressive at the blue line. This penalty, though, the Flyers did a much better job. Braun had it clear early. Konechny had a battle where he cleared. Just much better. Farabee had a nice play at the line. Lawton with a good play at the line as well. Just aggressive at the line. They killed that one off. Tampa didn't really have anything too threatening. And they looked off tonight, Tampa Bay. I don't know what it was. They're 1-3-0 to start the year. I don't know if it's maybe these last handful of years of all the hockey kind of getting into one maybe to start here. But not really a great start from the two-time previous year defending champs. It's kind of weird to say that. And as this game on, the Flyers, they get a kill there. It was a good kill. Tampa was sloppy in the defensive zone, moving up for them. It felt like as the game went on, they weren't as sloppy, and the Flyers didn't pressure as much, so they kind of had easier exits. But once the Flyers started the pressure after that Lawton goal, they were able to pounce on it, and they do. Noah Cates creates a turnover for himself. Johnny on the spot rips it 3-2. Just a beautiful play. Beautiful. I mean, it was gorgeous. There really is no other play that you want from a forecheck, right? I mean, it's like you basically strip the defenseman of the puck, turn around, fire it, and it goes in. I mean, it was a beautiful goal. There's around 7.5 minutes or so. It was a really, really timely goal as well for the Flyers, because I don't know if you want to go to overtime at 3-on-3. Obviously, you take the point, but I don't think you want to go to overtime 3-on-3 with a team like Tampa Bay with all the weapons they have. So it was just really just a great play. I mean, there really is no other way to describe it. I honestly thought, as for some guys that kind of stood out to me tonight as well, I thought Sanheim had a couple plays late and really throughout this game where one-on-one, he was just defending guys one-on-one, was able to get the stick in there. He really was just taking guys off the puck, looked very easily. I feel like without Risto, obviously he hasn't really been able to kind of get into that sync yet since Risto hasn't played. But, again, just really good plays, I thought, from Sanheim tonight. Active stick. He had a play late on point where I was like, that was a really nice play. It was just Point has that drive to him where he can just kind of get into the zone quick, and he did it on one of the first plays of the game, and Sanheim just stood right with him. Flyers were under stress a little bit, but defended it well. Hart had a couple good saves. He was great after the second goal. He's locked it down, and I think what I've really liked the most about him is that he's like, it's not that he's like given up a really like bad rebound or anything like that or had to make a crazy save. It's like after that, he's just calm, and he's been able to stop the pucks, not give up many rebounds. And again, I think that's been huge for the Flyers. They had a 3-on-1 late where they almost scored. Lawton was stoned. If they scored there, then that's probably the winner. They added like a second or like 0.4 of a second left to the clock later on. But that was it. The Flyers win this one. And again, I've said it before and I'll say it again. I really don't care what anybody says. This was a great win for this team. It was a huge confidence booster. Everybody knows how tough this month's going to be, and everybody knows, the whole thing with the season and how they were supposed to be, right? This whole thing. I didn't have any prediction. I didn't have I think the Flyers are going to be this or that. I have looked at this with a level head as best as I can, and they've played really good. I mean, there's been a lot of things that they've done well, but just in general, just a lot of good plays tonight. I thought after the goal, they woke up a little bit, and as for some other guys, I thought that first line was getting there. I really did like Lawton's chemistry with Cates and Allison because they kind of switched a little bit. Farabee was on that top line with Hayes and connecting, so there were some different things there. I wonder if they'll try anything different. But again, that's a huge win for this team. It really is, and just in general, I think the one thing I've loved, again, and I mentioned this last game too, was the adversity. You battle adversity again. You're in Tampa Bay. You're on national TV, and you're going up against a really good team. And the Flyers looked fragile. They looked, again, scared to make a play. They were just really tight with the stick. As soon as they got that goal, opened up, and the two fights didn't I don't think helped as much, but the goal definitely woke them up. They played smart, they played efficient, and they got the 2 points tonight. So let me know what you guys think. Really, really solid win for the Flyers. They have Florida tomorrow on TNT at 7 o'clock. We'll see how they do, and then Nashville Saturday at 8. So we'll see what happens. Let me know your thoughts below. Remember to check out the podcast. That's this Friday. Call 267-939-1216 if you want to leave a message for the show. And, for the fan club, we got the Joel Farabee military replica jersey raffle tickets. If you want to purchase one of those, you can DM me on Twitter. Also have the giveaway for the Fueled by Philly t-shirt here for the Flyers. I'm doing the drawing this Friday for the show. The rules are on the Twitter post, so check that out. So, Flyers are 3-0. Let's see what happens here coming up. It's a huge win for this team. Let me know your thoughts below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will talk to you all again soon.